Hello student, today I will talk on clinical application of ECG in cardiac arrhythmias. So how the cardiac arrhythmia it affects on the normal ECG. For example, there is change in contour and height of waves, then intervals and segments of the ECG get affected. Okay, now first see what is cardiac arrhythmia. Arrhythmia means it is irregular heartbeat or rhythm of the heart due to disturbance in electrical activity of the heart is called cardiac arrhythmia. What is that disturbance? Disturbance means there may be the problem in production of impulses by the SA node. There may be the problem in conduction of the impulse from a pacemaker to the rest part of the heart. Okay, there may be the heart blocks, that is impulse is not impulse take abnormal sequence of current flow. Okay, and it leads into the uh, irregular heartbeats or rhythm of the hearts. For example, there is fast heart rate, slow heart rate, extra beat, missed beat. So in this way, so it reflects on ECG. Okay, so here the cardiac arrhythmia, it may be physiological or pathological. Okay, so we'll go there. What are first see what are the causes of cardiac arrhythmias? Okay, so causes are first abnormal sinus rhythm. Okay, means here there is a problem in pacemaker to generate the impulses. Okay, then second cause, shift of pacemaker from SA node to the another place in the heart, other part of the heart, that is shifting of the pacemaker. Okay, so pacemaker function, it shifts from SA node to the AV node or to the Purkinje fibers, and that is called the ectopic pacemaker. Ectopic pacemaker means pacemaker other than the SA node. Okay, third cause, heart blocks at different points of conductive system. Okay, so heart blocks means there is a conduction problem. Okay, and conduction defect, it leads into the increase or decrease in heart rate or impulse not properly conducted. So we'll come there. And fourth cause is abnormal pathway of impulse transmission. Now you know the normal sequence of the current flow. If this normal sequence, it takes abnormal pathway or current, it flows in abnormal, takes abnormal sequence, that also leads, that is also one of the cause of cardiac arrhythmias. Okay, and the fifth cause is spontaneous generation of impulses in any part of the heart. Here, yeah, it may be due to the infections or coronary artery disease which leads into the ischemia to the myocardium, and due to the ischemia, there is a spontaneous generation of the impulse by any part of the heart. Okay, and it also causes the shifting of pacemaker, and that is that is also one of the cause of cardiac arrhythmias. We'll go there. Uh, then the next slide. Here, take one by one. First, abnormal sinus rhythm. Abnormal sinus rhythm is discussed under the sinus tachycardia, sinus bradycardia, sinus arrhythmia. Okay, we'll take one by one. First, what is sinus tachycardia? You know, sinus tachycardia, it leads into increase in heart rate. If the heart rate is increased more than 100 times per minute, or even it is up to the 50 150, that is called the sinus arrhythmia. So increased heart rate more than 100 is called sinus tachycardia. Okay, and here how it affects on the ECG. ECG is normal except the RR waves or RR intervals, it becomes short. Okay, so the distance or gap between RR wave, it is decreased, and in this way it affects on ECG. Okay, what are the causes of sinus tachycardia? So it may be the physiological, or pathological. Physiological tachycardia, it comes in, that is normal tachycardia, and it comes in increased body temperature during exercise. Okay, so what is the severity of the exercise? Depending on that, heart rate, it increases more than 100. Then in different emotions also there is increase in heart rate. Even if you ascend at the high altitude, where due to the decrease in partial pressure of the oxygen, heart rate it increases. Then in pregnancy also heart rate remain high, about 40% maximum it can be increased. So these are the physiological causes of sinus tachycardia. Okay, what are the pathological causes of tachycardia? You are already familiar, you know, if the temperature of the body, if it is increased, fever, it is due to the uh, fever means it increased body temperature due to the infections or whatever the problem in the body. It leads into increase in temperature, and increased temperature, it causes the tachycardia. Then in anemia also there is increase in heart rate. Then hyperthyroidism, you know, hyperthyroidism, there is increase in, it leads into the increase in metabolism, and that's why there is increase in heart rate. Then increase the secretion of the catecholamines, you know, the catecholamines, adrenaline, non-adrenaline, okay, serotonin, you know, it directly, it increases, directly or indirectly it increases the heart rate. Then cardiomyopathy, valvular heart diseases, then hemorrhagic shock, these all condition, it leads into the increase in heart rate. Okay, and it is called the sinus tachycardia. Next slide. uh, Common features. So what are the common features or symptoms of tachycardia? So there is a palpitation, okay, in the patient, and patient feels his own heartbeat, okay, sensation of feeling of the heartbeat. Patient feels his own heartbeat, and that feeling is called the palpitation. Okay, then dizziness, then fainting, shortness of breathing, chest discomfort. These are the symptoms of tachycardia. Okay, now coming to the bradycardia. What is bradycardia? Decrease in heart rate below the 60, and it is called the bradycardia. Okay, sinus bradycardia. Here, what is its effects on ECG? ECG shows increased or prolonged RR interval, that is a gap between two R wave, it increases, and uh, these are the uh, this is the effect on ECG. Okay, even waves also get prolonged, means you know, intervals or duration of the waves, it also increases. Okay, then what are the causes of bradycardia? It is opposite to the tachycardia. For example, physiological causes of bradycardia: when the heart rate it decreases below 60, it may be during the sleep. Okay, you know, during the sleep all activities decreases, basal metabolic rate it decreases, heart rate, that's why heart rate it decreases. In athletic heart, you know, due to the training in athletic person, their heart is strong, that is a hypertrophied heart, and that's why the heart rate remain less in normally in athletic person also. Then pathological causes: disease of sinus node, then hypothermia. Okay, so hypothermia, decreased temperature, decrease in heart rate. Hypothyroidism, it leads into the decrease in basal metabolic rate, there is a decrease in heart rate. Then in heart attack, so due to the myocardial infarction, heart it becomes weak, and that leads into the decrease in heart rate. Then in congenital heart diseases also, heart rate it remain less. Okay, so this is a bradycardia. Features or symptoms: there is fatigue. Okay, patient में देखा तो fatigue is there, weakness is there, lack of concentration sometimes it occurs in the bradycardia. Okay, then see the ECG how it looks. For example, this is a normal ECG, and the ECG in tachycardia, if the heart rate is high, okay, if it is increase above the 100, see the distance between two R wave, or the gap between two R wave, it is decreased. Okay, and it is very much it is decreased. Opposite will happen in the bradycardia. If the heart rate is below the 60, then see the gap between two R wave, it is too much. Okay, it is increased, gap is increased between two R wave. Okay, that is how it affects on ECG. Okay, now what is a sinus arrhythmia? Okay, third cause of cardiac arrhythmia is sinus arrhythmia. Here it is also called the respiratory sinus arrhythmia. So what is sinus arrhythmia? In normal healthy person, it happens normally first thing, and there is increase in heart rate during inspiration, and decrease in heart rate during the expiration is called the sinus arrhythmia. Okay, so during the respiratory cycle, it is very difficult to make out in adult, but in children, uh, you can easily make out their heart rate is slightly, it increases during the cycle, that is a inspiration period, and it comes to the normal during the expiration. Okay, so in this respiratory cycle, heart rate slightly it changes, and that's why it is also called respiratory sinus arrhythmia. Okay, so how it happens is, what are the causes? So its explanation is very simple. In this condition, when it is due to the spillover of signals from medullary respiratory center into the adjacent vasomotor center during the inspiration and expiration. That means, when uh, respiratory center produce the impulse, that is during the inspiration, when impulse is produced in respiratory center, that also spill over, that means it also spread to the adjacent vasomotor center, because in the medulla the centers located near to each other, respiratory centers and vasomotor centers. If once the impulse is generated in respiratory center, it also spreads slightly, or it also stimulate the adjacent vasomotor center. Okay, and this stimulation of the vasomotor center, it causes alternate increase and decrease in the number of impulses passes through the sympathetic and vagus nerves to the heart. Okay, and here simply there is increase and decrease in heart rate. This is one cause. Second contributory cause, additional cause, is during inspiration, the intrathoracic pressure become negative. When we take the air inside, the due to the expansion of thorax, the pressure inside the thorax, it becomes negative. Okay, and due to this, the blood from abdominal vessel is sucked towards the thorax. Okay, so there is a negative pressure in the thorax, and due to this, the blood from abdominal vessel, it is sucked to the thorax. So what is its effect? It leads into the increase in venous return. Okay, and if the venous return is increased, that means there is more collection of the blood in right atrium, and it causes the stretching of the right atrium, and the stretching of the right atrium, it stimulates the reflex. It stimulates the reflex that is called the Bainbridge reflex. And you know what is Bainbridge reflex? By Bainbridge reflex, there is, when the Bainbridge reflex gets stimulated, it leads into increase in heart rate. So like this, two causes are there which leads into the increase in heart rate during inspiration, and it's called the sinus arrhythmia. And students, I told that you can clearly make out it in the children, but difficult to make out in adult. Okay, so by keeping the stethoscope on chest, and observing the respiratory cycle, you can make out that the heart rate is slightly increased when there is a inspiration. Okay, uh, then we'll continue next cause. Now coming to the heart blocks. Okay, here heart blocks means, what is heart block? If there is disturbance in the normal conduction of impulse in conductive system is called the heart block. Means it may be due to the coronary artery disease, and when in coronary artery disease, when the blood supply to the myocardium is a decrease, or that is called the ischemia to the myocardium, and during this, when the blood supply to the myocardium or to the conductive system it is decreased, then it affects or it causes the disturbance in the conduction of impulse, okay, in the conductive system, and that resulting in ectopic arrhythmias. Okay, so what is that ectopic arrhythmias, or what happens when there is a block? We'll go there. Before to that, you see types of heart block. So depending on location of blocks or location of problems in the heart blocks is broadly divided into three types. Okay, and these three types are sinus. First is sinoatrial block, that is also called the SA block, then atrioventricular block, AV block, and bundle branch block. Third type is bundle branch block. Now see one by one. First, sometimes there is a short note on heart blocks. Okay, so you should be able to write if there is a short question or short note on heart blocks. First, what is heart blocks? What are the causes of the heart blocks? What are the types of the heart block? Okay, so here sinoatrial block kya hai? What is AV block? What is bundle branch block? We'll go there. But before to that, in classification, the atrioventricular block is again divided into incomplete heart block and complete heart block. Okay, under incomplete heart block is divided into first degree heart block and second degree heart block, while the complete heart block is also called the third degree heart block. So one of the classification is the first degree heart block, second degree heart block, third degree heart block. Okay, so like this it is a classification of the heart block. Now see one by one. First, sinoatrial block. So what is a sinoatrial block? The impulse from SA node is blocked before it enters the atrial muscle and to the AV node. Okay, so here impulse is produced in SA node, but its transmission to the rest part is blocked. So how its transmission is blocked? For example, you can see in this diagram, suppose this is a SA node and this is a rest of the part, that is a AV node, and this is a cardiac muscle. So atrial muscle, here is a atrial muscle. So impulse is produced in SA node, okay, but it is blocked. It is blocked means here it is blocked means it cannot transmit to the other part. Okay, so this transmission is blocked and it is called the sinoatrial block. Okay, so impulse generation is normal, but it is not conducted to the rest part, that is called the sinoatrial block. So after block, what happens is, if there is a block, then AV node takes charge of pacemaker, and AV node, it starts the generation of the impulse. Means the charge of pacemaker, it will be taken by AV node. Okay, but only difference is that the rate of generation of the impulses, it remains 40 to 60 beats per minute, and that is called the atrioventricular rhythm. Okay, so here if it is blocked, then what happens is, so here block is here and impulse it not going to the EV node. So EV node, it generates the impulse, and here only rate it decreases, and that is called the sinoatrial block. So here see in this diagram, and you can see sinoatrial block with EV nodal rhythm during the block it is in lead 2. So up to this point, the SA node atrial impulse are coming to the normal, but here, exactly here, the SA block it starts, and you know the rate of impulses is decrease. Okay, so here see the P wave, here the P wave is there, but here the P wave is not there. Okay, because and the second thing is that heart rate it is also decrease. Okay, so this is the effect of SA nodal block. Okay, that is the sinoatrial block. Okay, this then we'll go to the next slide. Students, next type is uh, atrioventricular block. Okay, and in under the atrioventricular block, here impulse are not transmitted. That is, what is it? This is a block between atrioventricular, means it is block between atria and ventricle. Means impulse, there is a difficult or disturbance in the transmission of the impulse from atrial side to the ventricular side. Okay, so impulse are not transmitted or decrease the rate of conduction from atria to the ventricle is called the sinoatrial block. Either there is a problem in transmission, or there is decrease in transmission. Okay, this thing it happens. Yes. So as per the what is the exact problem, is there the transmission problem or uh, decrease rate, it is again divided into incomplete heart block and complete heart block. Okay, so under incomplete heart block, again we have two types: first degree heart block and second degree heart block. So first, what is incomplete heart block? Under this, the rate of impulse conduction from atria to the ventricle is decrease. Okay, so here rate is decrease, and how it is divided? So rate is decrease, and also there is a transmission problem. So it is divided into first degree heart block and second degree heart block. Okay, students, see what is a first degree heart block. Okay, so first degree heart block, all atrial impulses reach the ventricle, but PR interval is abnormally long. Here, every impulse it goes from atrial side to the ventricular side, but there is increase in PR interval. You know the what is a PR interval. Okay, so here it is an interval from the beginning of the P wave to the beginning of the R wave, and due to the increase in conduction time, there is increase in PR interval. So from ECG reading or interpretation, you can easily make out whether the PR interval increase or not. If it is above the point 2, then it is called the first degree heart block. Here atrial and ventricular rate, it is 1:1. Okay, now coming to the second degree heart block. Here under this condition, all atrial impulses are conducted to the ventricles. Okay, so sorry, uh, uh, this is a statement is like all atrial impulses are not conducted to the ventricle. Okay, so accordingly it is divided into the heart block. Second degree heart block is divided into 2:1, 3:1, 3:2. So what is the meaning? The meaning is, for every two impulses generated in the atrial side, one impulse is transmitted to the ventricular side. For second example, for every three atrial contraction, there is one ventricular contraction. Okay. Third example, for every three atrial contraction, two impulses pass to the ventricular side, and there is a two ventricular contraction. Okay, so this is called the second degree heart block. Okay, see in this diagram you can easily understand. Here this is the ECG is normal, it's a first degree heart block. Only thing is that PR interval it is increased, or PR interval is prolonged. Okay, In this diagram, this is a second degree heart block, and in this is one example showing the occasional failure of ventricle to receive the impulse. Okay, so here the one ventricular beat is dropped. So dropped beat means for two P wave there is one ventricular contraction. Okay, so this we can say that 2:1 combination, and this is an example of incomplete heart block. Okay, now see the complete heart block or the third degree heart block. So what is it? Here in this case, it is due to the complete interruption of conduction between atrium and ventricle. So there is no transmission of impulse at all from atrial side to the ventricular side. Okay, and I told that the causes may be due to the ischemia, that is less blood supply, or growth of the tissue scar. That's why impulse is not transmitted from atrial side to the ventricular side. So we can say that impulse produced by the SA node cannot reach to the ventricle. And if there is a block between atria and ventricle, so what will happen? The Purkinje fibers produce its own impulses. Okay, if the impulse is not coming from atrial side, then ventricle generates its own impulse. That is a function of Purkinje fiber. But only thing is that the rate of generation of the impulse is very less, that is 15 to 40 beats per minute. Okay, and here so the ventricle beats independently called the idioventricular rhythm. Okay, so here we can say that SA node beats independently and ventricle also beats independently. Okay, and the beating of the ventricle or the recording of the contraction of ventricle in this case is called the idioventricular rhythm. So how it looks on the ECG? So here in the ECG, P wave becomes dissociated from the QRS complex and T wave. So here P waves are coming its own, and P waves get dissociated from ventricle, that is a QRS complex. And here P wave is, in this case the rate of atrial rhythm is about 100 beats per minute, while the rate of the ventricle is less than 40 beats per minute, because there is no connection between atria and ventricle. Atria produces its own impulses, that is a impulse are normally produced by the SA node, causes the contraction of the atria, and for ventricle impulses are produced by the pacemaker, the Purkinje fibers, and the rate of impulses is on below the 40. Okay, this is called the complete heart block. Okay, now see next, what are the causes of atrioventricular blocks? I told that ischemia to the AV node or AV bundle fibers. Okay, so if there is a less blood supply, then it blocks the transmission of the impulse. Compression of AV bundle by scar tissue. Okay, and inflammation of AV node or AV bundle. So if there is a problem in atrioventricular bundle or bundle of His, or if there is a problem in AV node, then impulse cannot be conducted from atrial side to the ventricular side, and it is called the AV blocks. Okay. Now third type of heart block, third type is bundle branch block. So what are the bundle branches? For example, right bundle branch and left bundle branch. You know, once the bundle of His, once it is entered in the ventricle, it divides into the right bundle branch and left bundle branch. And if there is a block, any one of these two, then it is called the right bundle branch block or left bundle branch block. Okay, here what happens is, so if there is a block in one side, then impulse current it passes through the normal side. Okay, so current passes normally down through intact branch. Okay, and that current then it sweeps back through the muscle to the blocked site and activate the ventricle. Okay, so impulse it is going to the other side through the myocardium. Okay, and it leads into the contraction of other side also. Okay, so here features, what are the symptoms of the features? Here features are normal heart rate is there, but prolonged QRS complex, and the QRS complex it increases above the 0.012 second. You know the duration of QRS complex is 0.12 second, and if it in this case it prolongs. Okay, and that is called the bundle branch block. One more features you can see, the abnormal ST segment and T wave, and split the second heart sound. Second heart sound also not coming normally, it gets split. Okay, these are the features of this block. Okay, now the next cause of cardiac arrhythmias is a paroxysmal tachycardia. Okay, so what is paroxysmal tachycardia? So very simple, the sudden attack of increased heart rate due to the ectopic foci. Okay, so here this there is a shifting of the pacemaker. Okay, or sudden attack of increased heart rate due to the ectopic foci, means ectopic foci can occur any part of the heart. For example, it can occur in atria, it can occur in AV node, or it can occur in ventricle. So what happens in this case? Simply the any part of the heart other than the SA node, it leads into the increase in production of the impulses, or there is a sudden attack of increased heart rate due to the any other part of the heart, it start generating the impulses, and that is more than नॉर्मल पेसमेकर एसए नोड. सो एसए नोड से ज्यादा रेट में ये अदर पार्ट जनरेट द इम्पल्स. ओके, एंड यू नो दिस अटैक it lasts for few seconds to few hours and then stops suddenly. Okay, so it comes for few seconds to few hours and then it stops. After attack, after this sudden attack, heart functions normally. Okay, now you know, again I will try to tell you, normally SA node generate the impulse and is spread over the heart. Okay, but sometimes what happens is it may be due to the less blood supply, or maybe the irritation to the of the other part of the heart, the other part of the heart, for example atria. Atria means atrial cardiac muscle, ventricular myocardium, AV node, any one of these start its own impulses, and it's okay, no problem if they generate the impulse, but rate of their generation may be high. Okay, and it may be more than 70 to 80 beats, that is more than normal. That time it acts as a pacemaker. Okay, and that is called the paroxysmal tachycardia. Okay, so if the paroxysmal tachycardia it is in atria, then it is called the atrial paroxysmal tachycardia. If it is in the AV node, then it is called the AV nodal paroxysmal tachycardia. If it is ventricle, then it is called the ventricular paroxysmal tachycardia. Okay, so see the symptoms. In this case, person feel or the patient feel palpitation, chest pain, rapid breathing and dizziness. These are the symptoms in the paroxysmal tachycardia. Okay, see the ECG, how it alters the ECG, how it becomes abnormal. Here up to this point it is normal. Okay, but here the start of atrial paroxysmal tachycardia. So here atria start generating the impulse more in rate, and see the contractions it is increased, atrial contraction it is increased, and it is called the atrial paroxysmal tachycardia. Another example, if the sudden attack is there in the ventricle, and if the ventricular muscle it start generating the impulse, and it leads into the more beating of the ventricle, and the second ECG here is an example of ventricular paroxysmal tachycardia, and here the rate of ventricular contraction or ventricular beating it is increased, so it is from this point to this point. Okay, it is a ventricular tachycardia. Okay, now the next slide. What is atrial flutter? Okay, so paroxysmal tachycardia, sometimes it leads into the flutter, that is atrial flutter. And what is the atrial flutter? So very simple, that try to understand the rate of discharge of the atria, it increases, and sometimes it increases 200 to 350 beats per minute. Okay, so very fast beating is there by the atria. It is like both atria beats rapidly like wings of bird, and it is called the atrial flutter. Okay, so causes, it is common in, when it occurs atrial flutter, it is common in hypertension, then coronary artery disease. Okay, it is common. And here symptom is, it is marked by the palpitation. Okay, and if you see, uh, if it is prolonged, ये ज़्यादा time तक आया, तो atrial flutter may leads into the atrial fibrillation. So what is atrial fibrillation will go there, and it leads into the, it can be leads into the heart failure. Okay, if it is increased, then it can leads into the atrial fibrillation and heart failure. And how it affects on ECG? Here the P waves on ECG are strong, but QRS complex follows the P wave only once for every 2 to 3 beats of the atria. Okay, means in this case there is contraction of the ventricle for every 2 or 3 contraction of atria, and that is how it affects on atrial flutter. Now we'll continue with the atrial fibrillation. So flutter can be leads into the atrial fibrillation. And what is atrial fibrillation? Fibrillation, it is characterized by very rapid and irregular contraction of atria. Okay, and the beating rate can be increased up to the 300 to 400 beats per minute. Okay, and it's irregular contraction. Why it is said irregular contraction? Because it is due to the circus movement of impulse with the atrial musculature. Okay, so with the help of diagram I will try to explain you. So in this case what happens is, see diagram. So in this diagram, suppose this is atria. Okay, and in this atria, this part, it leads. Okay, so in this diagram, this part, it start generating the impulse. This part, it becomes irritated, whatever the cause, maybe congenital heart disease or coronary heart disease. And this part, this red part of the atria start the generating impulses. And this impulse, then it circulate like this. Okay, but it is very high, it goes like this. It, once it's stimulated here, once it is generated here, it will cause the contraction of this part. Okay, then next moment it goes here, it's stimulate this part, leads its contraction. Then like this, in circus moment or in circus manuals, this impulse, it rotates there. Okay, it circulates there. Okay, and that is called the circus moment of impulse in atrial musculature. Okay, so here you try to understand, first impulse is produced here, then it spread here, then this part will stimulate this part, this part will stimulate this part, this part will stimulate another part, and in this way it completes the circle. Okay, so there is, in first moment there is contraction of first part, then it leads into the relaxation, next moment contraction of this. So there is no effective contraction, there is no effective contraction of atria, and only irregular contraction relaxation it occurs, and it is with the rate of 300 to 400 beats. Okay, so there is no effective pumping from atria to the ventricle. Okay, The if you see on the ECG, P wave is absent. Okay, there is, because of irregular contraction, P wave, you cannot make out the P wave on ECG. Okay, it is more common in old people and patient with heart diseases. Okay, so normally it is not occurs in the normal person, but it is more common in hypertensive patient, also in the old age, and patient with the heart diseases. Okay, now next slide is ventricular fibrillation. Okay, so what is ventricular fibrillation? Same thing, it happens in the ventricle, and it is most serious and dangerous cardiac arrhythmia. Because why it is called the most serious and dangerous? If it is in the atria, if it is in the atria, then there is no that much problem, because irregular contraction of the atria takes place and blood it comes in the ventricle. But if it is in the ventricle, then there is no effective pumping of the ventricle. Because what happens is, in this case, there is a there is no contraction. Effective contraction means there is no contraction of both ventricles together. Some part will contract, some will relax, some part will contract, some will relax, and ultimately there is no pumping of the blood. So blood cannot be pumped, and that's why it is serious and dangerous cardiac arrhythmias if there is a ventricular fibrillation. So rate of contraction, it can be increased up to the 400 to 500 times per minute. Okay, and it is characterized by rapid, very rapid and irregular contraction of ventricular muscle. Okay, here it is again due to the circus movement of the impulse within the ventricular muscle, and ventricles cannot pump blood, and it leads into the death. Now I told that there is a circus movement, and once it is started from one point, okay, and here it rotates there in circus fashion, it comes back, and like this, one part it contract first moment, second moment, next part will contract, third moment. So like this, there is no contraction, effective contraction of ventricle. It's called the ventricular fibrillation. So what are the causes? It is very common in electrical shock. Okay, uh, due to the shock, the electrical activities get disturbed, and the fibrillation can be developed in ventricle. It also occurs in ischemia of conduction system. You know what is ischemia? In coronary heart diseases, due to the blockage to the coronary artery, blood supply to the conduction system is blocked, and the part of the ventricle get irritated, and it starts production of the impulses, and that is very high. Okay, this is second cause. Coronary occlusion, that is blockage in the coronary artery. Then also it can occur in anesthesia, that is the anesthetic drugs like chloroform and cyclopropene anesthetic drugs. These are the two examples. So when given to the patient, if not given within limit, or if there is a increase its dose, then also it affects on this condition. It leads into the ventricular fibrillation. Also, whenever there is a mechanical trauma to the heart, can also leads into this condition, and it leads into the production of production of impulses called the ventricular fibrillation. So students, I think you followed this. If you have any problem, you can ask me. We'll stop here. Bye bye, student.